Hello and welcome to part 6 of me teaching you how to get better at a certain Roblox game. This time we have make your own army. Now you ask yourself, how do I protect the king at all costs? Good question, because the king will either run backwards, which in this case he probably will fall off the map. Either he will go in the directions of left or right, which is basically the least harmless, or he will literally just run towards the enemies because he wants to. Because this AI is stupid. But I mean, at least he's running away and not literally staying there to die. So what I would recommend you have to do is put walls around the king so that he will not run away. That's first of all. Second of all, spawn troops in front of the enemies. It is very recommended to do that because we don't want him to have this reaction to literally just run away. So that's why you will need to protect him at all costs. Again, if he dies, the game is over and you'll have to restart. So, now you want to learn which civilization to pick. Well, there's England, which you can basically start alone with 15 gold, which I'm not going to recommend. You have Russia, which you can spawn a lot of axemen, and it's going to be effective. And the reason as to why it's going to be effective is because the units deal infinite damage. What do I mean by that? When they attack, there is no cooldown. So if they're able to get the weakest weapon, they can still kill because there is no cooldown of how much damage is really going to be dealt. So basically, the most effective thing you can do is basically spawn pikes, which of course, pikes is better than swords because you can stab them through afar. You can include Austria and get the Imperial pikes from. You can also go Venice and put in Stradiotti and put like a lot of them in, and no, you will not have to wait. You'll just have to activate a ability so that they will be able to basically attack. You have Serbia, which you can get the Serbian Guzar from. But of course, the Polish Hussar is very powerful. He costs only 35 gold and not 40 or 50. So you can kind of easily spam him. Of course, his weakness is pikes. Because I mean, why wouldn't his weakness be pikes? Because I mean, pikes are anti-horse, so of course you can we can kill him with the pikes if you're lucky enough. Because the AI is kind of bugged, because they don't actually really target the enemy now correctly, and the hitbox is also kind of the problem. I'm not gonna get deep into this. As you can see here, we have already won because as I said, the Polish Hussar is very, very powerful. What about the other civilizations, you ask? Good question. You have Byzantium with the fire ship, which you can use in watery maps and basically dominate. You have the Vikings, which you can put Viking launch ships and get a lot of damage. You have Malacca, which you can spam more ships and be able to do even more damage. You have China, which you can spam mines and literally make them detonate, and that's basically the closest you can be to actually 1v1 a troop. You have Moldavia, which you can use pillaging horsemen to annoy players if you're lucky. You have Arabia, which you can use the Hashashins to attack players, even more annoying than Moldavia. Somalia, you can get a market and place it and get some stuff with a banana crate, which you can use to heal your troops. You have Mali, which you can get the Mandalaku medium cavalry, which you can start killing. And also, you can get Japan, which has an ability that basically spawns in tsunamis out of nowhere and kills the enemies. That's not 100% guaranteed, considering the fact that basically you're spamming it, the enemies are like full HP, so that they will get a lot of their HP off, but not by killing them. You have Vietnam, which you can put in archers, and they do not get it detected until an AI hits them without even realizing it. You have Malacca, again I have explained it. You have Inca, which has been revamped, I think, which you can put in roads, bola, throws a devastating projectile. You have Apache, which has the best archers in the game, because they're accurate, they're self-healing, and they can walk on water. You have Sue, which you can use cavalry cannoneers to destroy enemies. You have Switzerland, which you can get dairy cows from and generate a lot of gold. There's a lot of possibilities. There's also bubonic plague, which, due to complaints, this civilization is temporarily unavailable. The dev got cancelled on Twitter, so he will not put the bubonic plague as a civilization. You have North Pole, which you can get in cold contract. If enemy player touches gold crate in 10 seconds, Krampus spawns. Santa, you will spawn in gold crates and you will pick them up. Santa's workshop, you can basically recruit elves and they will get leveled up in this workshop. There's a lot of possibilities, but I can say that my favorites are Croatia, because it basically catapults OP. Catapults OP in this game, and the reason as to why is because, they're a siege weapon. They can kill more people. But before you ask, but what about the trebuchets? Trebuchets, you can only put 4 of them. 1, 2. They cannot move, so they'll stay in the same position. Croatia allows you to have not only cheaper catapults, because it says minus 10% cost on any unit that allies can create at full price, and basically guard hound, which is the perk that you get, defense catapults. So basically, if there's a lot of enemies in the map that are going to attack the catapults, you can kill those enemies by using the guard hounds. Which, remember, since all the units do infinite amount of damage because there's no cooldown, the guard hound is very, very essential. And we have this one, Kari, infantry that scares its targets. Kind of like the camel, except that it's a melee troop. You have learned everything to become better and make your own army.